we OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal Ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for another Ordinal hour, and it's going to be a good one, guys. It's Tuesday. We're getting to that midweek point now, and there's a lot going on, and we gotta get into a lot of different things here, guys. We are very much excited for this, this ecosystem right now. Obviously, things are down. Obviously, your bags are down. Every time you look at your portfolio on your runes or your like node monkeys and stuff like that, everything's dropping, right? But we've been here before. This is nothing new to us. We die when we come alive. When we come alive, we are on fire. And, it's like a slow bleed till then. But I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried. You're in the right place at the right time. Bitcoin's going sideways. This is what happens. Bitcoin goes sideways for a while. Everyone's bored until you're not bored no more. And we think that's coming very soon. It could be this month, could be next month, but it doesn't really matter because in 500 days, we're going to be in glory mode, right? The normal halving is usually 500 days. I'm sorry. The normal explosion is usually about 500 days after the halving. And we're going to get there. That's usually the peak of the cycle. That is when you normally should take profits. But I think we're in a different type of cycle. I think we're in a super cycle. So I think we go above and beyond that 700, 800, 900 days. And I think that all starts this year. I think that starts with the new president that's coming and everything that comes with that. Hopefully we get Gary the gun out of here. He was on CNBC today, talking crap again. Gary is a loose cannon, needs to go, right? So we all know that Operation Choke Point did not work. Everything they did not work. We actually have a really good justice system here that is shutting Gary down every single time. So Gary, bring it because we are ready for you. But without further ado, let me bring in my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
I know I went over right there. My bad. What are your comments to that?
Yeah, I'll tell you this, like from the everyday user of the Bitcoin ecosystem and even further out into different ecosystems in crypto, it seems like doom and gloom right now a bit, right? But we can tell you just from, meetings we've had that like people are prepping for like a big orange tsunami that's going to probably be here in the next, I would say, month and a half, 2 months, and they're prepping hard. Right? Like they're making sure their infrastructure is solid. All their ducks are in a row with their reach. and stuff like that. So that gets me excited about what's to come here in the next month and a half, 2 months, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. Who knows? You know, we can't tell you exactly what tomorrow is going to bring, but what we can tell you is how some of these entities are starting to act. And they're not acting like the everyday user right now, which is kind of like runes are down, you know, Eeyores type of, you know, poor me, which I get. Look, I'm not making fun of you guys. I feel it too, you know, when I look at the runes charts. But yeah, there's definitely a big orange tsunami that's a brewing, and it's going to affect, I think, the entire markets, like the entire crypto market.
I agree. And on Twitter, the timeline, I see a lot of victim mode. What I mean by that is people, you know, people think they're the victim, right? So it's like, but we are all grown ups here. Every decision that we've made going forward is a decision that we have to live with, right? Good or bad. I made some amazing decisions and I made some bad decisions, especially recently, right? Especially in this downward market where I'm kind of keep catching the fallen knife, but I don't really care because I know I just know this ecosystem. I know the people that are here. I know the builders that are here, right? Yeah. So if you feel like you are catching a fallen knife by buying these dips, you're not alone. I think we're all feeling it here, and I just don't think this is a big deal. You know, I think we should just take it one day at a time and really kind of feel what the market gives us. Maybe not go so heavy on catching those fallen knives. Let's keep our hands a little cleaner. But you know, I think we can all learn everything, learn something new every day. But in order to get to a better market, we need the king to start doing what the king does best, and that's you know, go insane, right?
Number up.
Number go up, right? But so
Yeah.
let's check out what the king is doing.
Yeah, let's do it. Jumping right into Bitcoin's hourly chart here. Seems like we've stayed pretty steady with chop back and forth since Saturday. You know, had a little bit of a decline on Monday morning, and then found that bottom there, and it seems like we're kind of chopping back and forth. It looks like Bitcoin wants to go back up here. We're at 64,155 right now, so you know it's been between 62.5 to 64,000. Let's see if we can kind of break out of this resistance of 64,000, maybe head back up to 66 and 67,000. That would be great. But at the end of the day, like, you know, we always say we know where Bitcoin is headed, and for this like medium term time frame, right? So we're okay with that. Taking a look at the daily, we built up some momentum here with our you know, looks like it's going to be our fifth green candle in a row. So that's good. We'll see if it kind of follows trend here though, and then starts to kind of bleed back down. I don't know, but we'll see what happens there, right? Other than Bitcoin kind of just doing its thing, I wanted to show this. So this is a spot Bitcoin ETF inflows and outflows, right? The total flow. You can see when the ETFs first started, you can see this consistent, like just, you know, green outflow of GBTC. Like it was so consistent, especially in the first, goodness gracious, the first month. They were like, oh, we need to breathe because they've been, you know, holding on to that for so long. And then it kind of chilled out, and then it got aggressive again in February, right? So one thing I've noticed though since late March and April is it's cut down a lot, right? But so has the inflows. You see the inflows was really aggressive as well up until, you know, March here, or end of March, early April. But now, like what we saw recently was both sides just kind of chilling out. And I think what the good thing about like the outflows getting like significantly smaller is that we pretty much know that the inflows will increase as you know, Bitcoin gets better and stronger with price. And so I think like GBTC sell down, you know, it's not going to be like how it was earlier. We can see the trend here. I don't know. Obviously, you know, the inflows did stall quite a bit in April. We need to see larger inflows, in my opinion. But maybe, you know, the Hong Kong ETF will help a little bit. And then, you know, like I said, buyers will buy, especially once Bitcoin starts to show strength again, in terms of price trajectory upwards. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Well, so to go back a little bit, the reason why you jumped on a little bit, but they GBTC had over 400,000 Bitcoin in holding, right? And they were a trust then, so they couldn't sell any of that Bitcoin that they've been accumulating since 2012, 2011. So starting in January of 2024, they were now allowed to sell some of that, right? So that's when that started. And as of Friday was the first day, or was it Monday? It was Monday or Friday, the first day that they
I think it was Friday.
It was a Friday. It
The
went the
first
other way.
green, yeah, the first green
Yeah.
inflow for GBTC. Yep.
Yeah, so it went the other way, and so now I think the dumping is over. Everyone who wanted to get out is now out, and a lot of people did get out, but then they went into the other funds, right? They went into the BlackRock and Fidelity ETFs. And they did that because GBTC has a very high fee of 4%. BlackRock has a 0% for right now. They're trying to get everyone in, and then they're going to jack up the percent when they think people are going to sell, right? So, and that's what those guys do. But I'm bullish on it, man. I think this is the main reason why we'll be at 700K by the end of the cycle in 6, 7, 800 days. Not financial advice, of course, but this is why I feel that way. And I think Michael Saylor said it best. He said they're going to come in droves. They're not, they're not going to trickle in. They're going to see one or two, and then boom, you're going to see like 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's a lot of them looking at, and if we can get like something like Pomp was saying on CNBC, he said, the Saudi guys are looking again. And when I think it's what is this, a Saudi wealth fund or something? It's like a huge fund that's actually looking to buy Bitcoin. If they get in, guys, they have buckets load of money, buckets and buckets of it. So, and they have a lot of it in gold. And so potentially, you can see a lot of that come to Bitcoin. And I think this is a cycle Bitcoin catches gold. I think this is a cycle Bitcoin passes the gold market cap,
Wow.
That's
a lot.
Bitcoin at Bitcoin at I think it's like $700,000-800,000 dollars will get you there. As long as gold doesn't go up as well. But I think we'll get to that 10, what is it, 10 trillion? I think gold market cap is something like that.
I mean, let's see.
But while you look that up,
15.6 trillion is the estimated market cap of gold right now.
And Bitcoin's what, 1 trillion?
Yeah, a little over, I think, at this point.
Yeah, a little over a trillion. So it's only a 15x from here. That's nothing.
When you're already at 1 trillion, I think that's a lot.
But when you have the ETF just opening, and these people are now for the first time able to put their money safely in an ETF. They say it's safely. I don't think it's safely. I'd rather have my own Bitcoin, but they think it's safely into Coinbase's hands as the custodian to custodian their Bitcoin, and they don't have to have the private keys. They don't worry about anything. They hit a little button on their E-Trade. They'll hit a little button on whatever platform they decide to use, Fidelity or whatever, and they can buy it, right? So
yeah, and you can see, like, look at these green bars. That's all GPTC, right? And
yeah.
the one thing that, like, you notice here is, like, you have the purple is Fidelity, and then I think like the blue might be ARK. But it's funny because, like, you see these traditional TradFi guys that probably got a little nervous whenever Bitcoin dipped a little bit and said, "Oh, I'm going to take out my position," or whatever. Maybe they got it early, like in January, when I'm not sure what Bitcoin's price was in January, but maybe they got in to where they can make some profit, and they're like, okay, well, they release some here. But it's going to be interesting to see how this goes back and forth, right? But like I said, I think, like, once Bitcoin starts to really rev its engine, there's going to be a lot of predictions out there, right? Like, oh, Bitcoin's heading to 150 by the end of year. Bitcoin's heading to 200, or, and especially if the presidential race ends up kind of tipping in one way, I think there's going to be extra bullishness with the market. So just something to keep in mind. This is something that this is like, now it's an analytic that's a part of the metrics, right? In terms of ETF inflows and outflows, guys, in terms of the price action. So
yeah, and like, I know it's hard. People don't like being in the politics and stuff, but if we do, I don't think it's going to happen. But if we do get 4 more years of Biden and 4 more years of Gary Gensler, it's going to be it's not, this bull run is going to be very left translated. I keep saying stuff about super cycle and stuff because I truly believe that Kennedy's going to take votes away from Biden and Trump's going to win easily, and then they're going to be very more open minded especially with guys that he's going to add to his staff. And we think that Vivek is one of the guys that he'll end up adding to his staff. And Vivek is very Bitcoin friendly, and you know,
Yep.
so that is big. You know, having Vivek on that staff would be very good. I think he's someone who understands the need for it and stuff like that. So, and I know people say, you know, like I don't agree with everything with Trump either, but I'm a one-sided voter, and that voting is crypto. And
One
to me,
issue.
it's like one issue voter. Yeah, exactly. More one-sided, one issue, whatever. And then that issue to me is crypto. I don't really care about anything else, right? I'm trying to get financially free. I want to wake up every single day and just not ever have to worry about money. And I think crypto is going to get you there. And that's why you guys are here, right? That's why we're all here. We know that crypto is the fastest horse in the race. We know that, you know, you can put your money in other things, but it's not going to give you that return or volatility that crypto gives. And that's why we're all here every single day. And that is why we believe in Bitcoin, because, you know, it's, you know, not non-custodian, right? And if the other side wins, they're coming for your hardware wallets and all that stuff. I truly believe that they're going to force you to trade on Coinbase and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're going to cut off all the on ramps and off ramps, force you to keep your stuff in a custodian.
That's why this cycle is so important, in my opinion, because you know, it's like as time goes on, I mean, you know, of course, like I feel like Bitcoin is formidable in terms of the security and stuff like that, but you know how these entities and politicians are, they're going to try to encroach more and more and more, right? But you know, last time, and I brought this up before, the last technology that did this to the government was the internet. And you know, for the most part, I feel like the internet is definitely still you know, it's very obviously still, it's very mass adopted, and there's good aspects to it, but they'll try to figure out how they can get their hooks into everything, right? You know. So
yeah. And I was listening to Ivan this morning, and he basically played something. It was this lady. She was talking about how, you know, the Boston Tea Party, they overthrew the English government over a 3% tax on the tea, right? We're dealing with almost 50% taxes here in the U.S. I'm not sure what it is in other countries, but I mean, when you count in, you know, your payroll tax, your sales tax, your house tax, right? Your land tax, whatever you want, property tax. It's you're paying about 50% in taxes, and they threw the government into the sea potentially. You know what I mean? For 3%, but we're sitting here happily paying 50%, and there's something wrong with that. There's something very wrong.
I think. Yeah, and we don't have to dive deeply into it, but I think what happened was that internally we became our you know, our worst enemy, because at that point England was trying to govern the United States, which came over here away from them, right? So what happens is you get that trust factor, and it builds up over time and time and time. Gangs of New York is a great movie to watch, because it talks a lot about that, you know, kind of where the politics start. But I'll leave it at that, because this show is not about politics, and we don't want to jump into that too deep. But one thing we do want to do,
said, like it need to be said.
100%. I agree. 100%. You know, I love America. You know, I served. I love this country, and so some things definitely need to be said. But I'll say this. One thing we definitely want for you guys to do is put your questions in the chat. I'm the one that like beats that drum every day, I know, but it's just because we love to interact with y'all. You know, this week is really exciting, guys. We're gonna have you know, Bitmap Tech, Jeff from Merlin Chain on a live AMA tomorrow. We'll have several meetings today after our call. This week's going to be amazing. So, guys, yes, price action is down right now, especially in the runes sector. Actually, everything Bitcoin ecosystem, but things are going to get better, I can assure you. And I'm not talking about price specifically. I'm talking about the energy, and then, you know, the markets, I would say. So.
And guys, we got 210 people in here. We appreciate every one of you guys, man. You guys are the reason why we do this every single day. We appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we'll jump into roll call here. And we do roll call because I remember all these names, guys. I remember you guys, and I will remember you guys when things get great. And I'm gonna remember who's here every single day. And then I'm gonna know why you guys are doing so well financially, because you guys were here with us, man. But we got our number one wins today. Ordinal's tweets.
Let's go.
He says 1 million kisses. Thank you for all 1 million of those, but you win today. Appreciate you. And then our boy Danny, always second. Always second. Danny's always second, but
better than third.
Shout out Danny, man. Danny says, guys, I went back to work. I do construction, but I'll watch later if possible while driving the dump truck. Danny, you are the man. We respect you and all the hard work you do, man. And 500 to 600 days, you won't be doing that no more. Promise you that. Danny goes, so that's Shizzy, Track, and Ghosty. I know I'm not pissed at this, but but Danny's not here. So. Shizzy, Track, on Ghosty are BRC20s, and they are not dead right. Hey, they're technically tap tokens. Track will be W Track token on Track. So technically they are tap tokens. So
no, that's reaching. That's reaching.
All right, let's get this going. We got Walk Alone. Appreciate you, buddy, so much. Yazir, always here, my man. Vac Zone in the building. Pelpa. Sixes says 7th to 7th. Yes, 7th to 7th. You got that.
I mean,
sure.
He's not wrong about that, right?
And then Yazir goes, etch it. ASO, welcome. James Rippin, Ant-Man, Patty Pooh. Patty Poo's on his stuff, man. He is in my DMs. He is on his game.
I feel like Coach Cat's been like on like Adderall the past like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Because like he's quiet. So like his energy is like so like bam, I'm here. Blah, blah, blah. Love it.
Shout out Patty Pooh and Coach Cats, man, or Catch Cats. Thank you so much for being here, man. As you're here all week, we appreciate you, my friend. Steve too, man. Steve, every single day, buddy. We appreciate it. I'm remembering you guys. Chain Watcher. We got New Zone. We got K in the building. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming. Chief Axel in the building. TKO. Mighty Sonu. Vac Zone. Amir's first time I see you here, buddy, but thank you so much for coming.
Welcome.
Joshua in the building. We got Tim. AOD Art. Appreciate you, my friend, as always. Tree City West, man. Go check out Tree City.
Tree City.
He has an amazing YouTube channel as well. Appreciate this guy right here. PDX saying, we got Joko. We got USX Quantum, Crypto Noob, Oceans, John J. Welcome to the show, John J. He said, where's Rick? Get him back on the show. Rick was a great episode. We will definitely bring Rick
we'll
back.
have him back on for sure.
John Joe, welcome to the show. That was a nice little comment, there. And then we have Oceans. A shout out to DMT Nat Frogs blowing the F up. OTC.
I've seen that on my timeline. I've seen that on
I've been seeing that too. Gotta look into that. Shout out those guys at Black Runner. Man, we appreciate everything those guys do for the ecosystem.
100%.
But that is your roll call for today.
Yes, sir. Good job on the roll call. Good job on the roll call. 230 people in here. A lot of people are traveling to Hong Kong right now. There's a big event. It's the Bitcoin Magazine hosting. It's basically the Bitcoin conference, but it's Bitcoin Conference Asia. So Bitcoin Magazine hosts that. So, I think there's going to be a lot of good news that comes out of that. A lot of innovation and stuff like that. Every time there's a big conference, and we'll get a lot of that information and news over to you guys as soon as we hear about it. So, with that being said, let's get into this first topic here. It's a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but not, I think we can just accept it what it is. How long until Runes bottoms? And are you worried? Well, we'll start with you since I read the question. Like, how long do you think this bleed out lasts for? And are you worried about it?
So I think this bleed out. Oh, sorry. From my screen here. I think this bleed out. Yeah, you can just show yours. That's fine. I wasn't sure what screen you had.
Yeah.
Okay. This is mine, I guess. Yeah, whatever. So to that, I think this bleed out occurs as long as Bitcoin just stays sideways, right? I don't think as much the bleed out as a, just kind of more sideways down, right? Which sucks, because I just think that this is such a smart thing to do from Casey and stuff like that. But I don't see us really popping here. I was buying the fallen knife, and now I'm starting to wake up and get the realization of might be down for a little bit longer. Maybe June, July before we start popping up again. We might have some ups, and then downs again. That's playing trader games, but I don't see us really exploding unless something happens. Unless RSIC comes out with their protocol that we think they're going to be launching, or CyberCon come out with something pretty cool. But I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about this stuff. That's why I think I am. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's like whenever you don't look at the numbers and you just know is better than when you actually see the numbers.
I know.
Because I was about to say, like, it is a bleed out, bro. It is a bleed out. The one thing is, this is the first time in a while for me to see dog go to the moon in the green. So for the dog holders, that's a good thing. But look at the market cap with dog go to the moon and Arsic. They're at 220 million both, right? And so they're like really like duking it out for like the top market cap for runes right now. And those are the two that I would expect to be like, you know, the King Kongs of this you know, this market, just because there's so much behind each of them. One of them is a big figurehead in the Bitcoin ordinal space. The other one is like an anonymous, but we think, you know, very effective person behind projects. And so it's gonna be interesting to see how both of these projects play out, because I don't think either of them just go away. You know, they're definitely gonna keep pushing. And you and I had a quick little conversation before we jumped on here, and we said, do you remember whenever BRC20s was like dead? There was a dead period to where like I remember looking at my portfolio and it was like bleeding, kind of like how this is happening. And then it was just quiet. And then we interviewed a bunch of artists, and we interviewed a bunch of like the art on Bitcoin was the thing with gamma prints. Remember that? And then all of a sudden, like heading into the fall, it was just like bam, like BRC20s exploded, right? And I feel like that's something that can happen here, right? It's like once people stop like kind of, you know, talking about like the bleed out so much, and they're just kind of like, it is what it is, and then they're like focused on something else like that comes in the space a little bit. It could be tap, or it could be like whatever, and then all of a sudden bam, that's whenever it happens when you least expect it. And that's kind of crypto, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I do see that happening. I do see, like, you know, very, very quiet, and then, you know, there's like a saying for that. It's like slowly and then suddenly, right? So I think that's definitely something here. So now that I'm thinking about it, though, I don't think we bleed out. I think we eventually come to a bottom here, hit the bottom, and then bounce back up to a certain number. Where that bottom is, I don't know, but I think it will bottom soon, and then we're gonna hang around the bottom. I might, you know, might touch it a few times, but there will be a bottom, and that'll be a buy zone. And if you're lucky enough to spot it and get it, then you will make out really well. Whether it's here, or whether it's next week, or a month from now, or, you know, or it's right, you know, could be right now. We could be sitting here like, yeah, remember that episode we did on that Tuesday? That was the bottom. We just don't know. And so it's a really, really tough. Am I worried? Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not worried. This is gonna be big. I truly believe that. And, you know, you see things like the Donald Trump, right? Up 400% on the day. This was like a dollar or something the other day. I was gonna say yesterday, and before that it was even crazier than that.
$1? But, no, because it's I think
I'm sorry, it was at 1 cent. 1 cent. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think you get that mixed up because I mean, but you know what? So I'm whenever you right now in our space, what I'm noticing, and it's happening on the ordinal side too, is that there are teams that are trying to make money, right? And so what they're doing is they're either pushing like a rune that was etched, you know, but like while everything else is like down and stuff. So they just try to bring a lot of attention to this. It happened kind of with the antisocial frogs, you know, and it happens with this project and that project. And it's like, but it's like one or two, and they'll make their money and then it'll calm back down. You know what I mean? Like it'll join the ranks with everybody else. And so I think we're kind of at that phase in the space right now to where there just isn't like a ton of opportunities right now in terms of short term, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's opportunities because you can get these cheap on both sides, ordinals and runes and other fungibles, but there's not really that short term like flip. And so you can see that certain teams are focusing, or certain groups of people are focusing on like one token here or one project there. And that's kind of normal. Like we've seen that in like previous, you know, ups and downs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. I guess my last words to this would be, you know, don't frown, average down. But don't catch a falling knife either. I'll give you both warnings there.
now you got them stuck at step one again, right? You got them stuck at step one again.
Man,
so
it's one of those things where, you know, if you do, you'll regret it. If you don't, you'll regret it. So it's just one of those things where, No, just keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. You'll know what to do. It's a it's your gut. And honestly, the best buys I ever had, my stomach hurt when I bought that. And the best sells I ever made, my stomach hurt when I sold that. Right. So that's just something that I do personally. I buy when I feel like I shouldn't, because that's just gotta goes against everything. But it's one of those things where that's when I made my best buys and my best sells, when I was like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this right now, but ends up being the best.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually like such a good indicator for yourself, is like whenever, like, because you're trying to use logic in that situation, and you're
Mhm.
saying, okay, the logic tells me to buy this because it's cheap right now, but I'm a little bit nervous to buy it because I don't want to catch a falling knife, so your stomach hurts. And then like the logic tells you, "Ah, I should sell because I've made like such and such percentage," but then your stomach hurts because you think, oh, how much more can I make? But like if
Yep.
you hit like the stomach hurt indicator
Mhm.
on both sides, you can stay safe, right? You're in that safe zone of like your stomach hurting on both sides, and I think that's really, I mean, that's probably a good indicator for yourself. Because
Yeah.
everybody knows what you're talking about. They just don't,
Yeah.
they don't want to let it go, or they don't want to pick up like risk it to where they could buy something that is going to continually going down.
For sure. For sure.
All right.
All
Well,
right. All
guys,
right.
hopefully that made you feel better about runes. That was the objective, is, to be real about it, but also to let you guys know that, hey, we've been here before. And I just feel like those communities and the leaders in those communities are strong. So just let's
Yeah.
give it some time and see what happens there.
Real quick, Tim says you guys aren't bullish enough. He hit me with the Decentraland comes out. What is bam? So a couple of weeks, couple of months. Yeah, I agree with you, Tim, for sure.
Yeah. And guys, continue to put your questions in the chat. Like Shizzy always says, we do have meetings all day today, but we will hang out, even a little bit longer if you guys have questions in there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to this next topic. So Ghosty Cash here, Ghosty Cash there. I'm seeing people in the space that typically don't tweet about Ghosty Cash starting to tweet a little
Jake
bit about
Gallen.
them. Yeah, Jake Gallen is very honest, transparent person in the space, and he's just like, wow, this is pretty impressive. And Ghosty Cash has reached $20 million in swaps for the users, right? And to
Yeah.
me, that's a big deal, considering the fact that like they didn't have like a huge marketing push or anything like that initially. It was just regular people talking about them, and people deciding, should I use them, should I not? There was barrier of entry for them. So for them to reach this $20 million total volume in swaps, I think that's a big deal for a project that really didn't have like a ton behind it in terms of like trying to push it out to everybody. I'm excited to see what they have, because word on the street is that they're going to be a pretty vital infrastructure play,
Yeah.
with the tap ecosystem, and they have the experience, and it seems like the capability to be servicing all these users to be able to do $20 million in volume. So how do you feel about Ghosty in terms of them reaching that milestone, and then hearing about them being like a infrastructure play?
Yeah.
with tap?
Yeah. So when I first heard infrastructure play, I was like, what? They're just like this bridge, right? But then started really thinking about it. And the more I think about it, the more I see how many different ways it could really help a lot of teams, especially not having smart contracts, right? Everything's going to be done in a very centralized way here. And Ghosty is going to be the pillar of that, right? Because they're already being trusted, they're already being used, and $20 million is a big deal. It really is, especially in the space that we're in. It's so tiny. It's not a big deal in Ethereum space with smart contracts land, because we've seen that done that, but not here. It's and I think that Ghosty is really getting their name out there, and I think this is a hidden gem. I think obviously not for us because we're here every day, not for you guys because you guys are here every day, but like for people on the outside, I think Ghosty is going to be talked about. GHSY is going to be talked about in a lot of videos going forward. And I think we are here early. And we were in a conversation yesterday in a meeting, and that team was like, yeah, we're going to be using Ghosty Cash. And it was like, holy crap, you're going to be using Ghosty Cash? And it's just like, it's really
Well,
opening
it
my
is a
eyes.
mutual partnership,
Yeah.
and I mean, I think we can talk about it. It was
Yeah,
Traverse, right?
sure.
So
Yeah.
Traverse and Ghosty Cash are going to be, partnering, and Traverse is another infrastructure play that's going to be vital, in my opinion, for projects and stuff over there. But yeah, kind of back to Ghosty Cash, but that was something that was kind of like, oh wow, you guys are how's that partnership going to work? And we won't get into that yet until that's ready to be rolled out, but
Yeah.
because we still need more information on it, but. That's really cool that these infrastructure plays are working together to make the whole ecosystem better.
Yeah, and it kind of jumps right into the next topic here, which is
Well, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, there
It's the
you
same
go.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to show something real quick.
Yeah, do your
So
thing.
let's just take a look here. Let's look at like what their offerings have been, right? So they recently listed Doggo to the Moon, so you can actually swap that out with any other Meta Protocol token that's a popular one that they offer. They are onboarding people too. You got to think about that. Look at me in Firo, Lido,
Akash.
Akash, all these, right? And then you go and then you go down. They were offering the swap and bridging of the Rhinestone, I believe, from Merlin Chain is where you would bridge that. Maybe B Square too, if they offered that. I'm not sure about that, but BTC Lightning, Jupiter from Solana, Satoshi Nakamoto, another rune, right? Merle token, which is BRC20. So I feel like, they are doing basically, I told you this before too. I feel like Ghosty was like, look, Bitcoin gives us these limitations, right? We want to be in the Bitcoin ecosystem because we see the long-term vision for it. Yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the best of our ability with these limitations and centralize, help people in a centralized way. All we care about is solving the pain point. And I think that's like when you have that mentality from a business perspective, business model perspective, you win. Yeah, I mean, because the pain point is the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that, and then guess what? Now they have trust from users, right, in our space. So what happens? Let's say OpCat gets approved. We don't know, it's unlikely probably, but if it does, right, and they're smart contracts, that's an easy transition for them.
Yep.
Easy transition.
Now.
They've already like won over like a certain group of people, and they're continually like grow, and then so they'll just be ready. They're doing, in my opinion, they're doing one of the best business models in our space right now because they've been doing that from the jump too.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was actually perfect because I actually thought about that. I said, if OpCat does go through, everyone's gonna be rushing for these L2s. I'm jumping to Ghosty. I'm gonna be mortgaging the house to buy more Ghosty because now it's a switch. Now they're decentralized. Now they can add smart contracts, right? It's a flick of a switch. Everything they're doing, they can just do now decentralized using things like Monero and stuff like they're already using, but in a more seamless way, right? And that could be monster, especially with the government really cracking down. I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, but if they crack down, we're going to need things like Monero and Ghosty Cash to kind of keep doing what we're doing because they're going to force us on central exchanges, and we're not playing that game, right? We're decentralized, and so Ghosty is kind of like the best of both worlds right now and can be so much more. And guys, this is not a paid sponsorship at all. This is just us. We're not doing anything with Ghosty right now. We'll let you guys know of every partnership that we encounter right now. We have a few. We're going to be telling you guys about our partnerships next week. But Ghosty Cash is not one. We would absolutely love them to be one, but they are not one. But that's just how bullish I am on these guys. And it really took me to really start looking back. And obviously the Tap being listed on CoinList is huge because that's going to bring a lot of liquidity to this Tap ecosystem where Ghosty is going next, right? So Ghosty will be a Tap token. We know this. And that is why I'm getting so bullish on, but not bullish on the token itself. I'm not bullish in investing in them. I'm bullish in the capabilities of their product here. And if you go here too, you can hit new. This is where you kind of see all that stuff: the Merle, Satoshi, Doggo to the Moon, Core, Beam, Bitcoin, Rose. It's everything, guys. So it's every day. Secret Network, Optimism. It's insanity. The amount of stuff they have here. You know what I mean? And like even like the mainnet stuff, we can just kind of. It's just all the main stuff. So. And then the stables as well. You probably see Bit Smiley on here eventually. Like this is a big deal. It really is. And it took me a while to realize that. And I'm not the brightest crown in the box, but I'm definitely in the box, right? So that is why that's why I'm finally getting my head wrapped around what they've been building all this time.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously if you keep up with this space, then you know that Ghosty is a BRC20 token. We don't know the exact plans that they have to migrate to tap, if that happens or when it happens. But the one thing that I'll say is 33 million, I think, 333,333, I think, is their supply. And they're at like 35 cents. So like for me, like it's all about like evolving, right? For them to evolve. And you think about like when they first came onto the scene, people were like a little bit hesitant, or a lot of bit hesitant, really. I made up that word, a lot of bit, but
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot of it.
But you know, understandably, right? Because centralized, you know, they're handling funds and stuff like that. And so, but I remember the first time that people would try to use it, it took like, you know, minimum like 3 to 5 hours. And then like sometimes it would take a day because there was just so much going on. 15 minutes is what I've heard recently. Like they've gotten down to the point to where they've got their service to get down to as little as 15 minutes for you to swap things on. So we'll see. Obviously, we always want to preach permissionless, non-custodial. That is obviously the way to go with if you have options. Unfortunately, our ecosystem is limited to Bitcoin's limitations. And so you got to kind of deal with like what we have. And in my opinion, this is one of the best, at least performing business models that I've seen.
100%. And, you know, and he's working with Benny. You know, to us, Benny is not just an amazing dev, but he's all about, you know what I mean, doing the right thing. And to have, you know, that direction with this team of devs is, I mean, obviously Benny's an amazing dev as well, but having all that together in one, man, it's just it's a powerhouse over there, and they're building. I'm glad I finally see that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I definitely want to play with things because that's how I am. So I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready for the infrastructure to kind of roll out. So I'm a little bit, you know, trying to be patient with that side of things. And then once I play with it and mess with it, and it is what it is, you'll hear me singing from the mountaintops. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. We got 300 people in here on a Tuesday. Appreciate you guys joining us, being with us, you know, part of this journey of, you know, Ordinal Revolution's growth, but also our community's growth and your growth in general. If you're new to our channel and our show, then we welcome you with open arms. We consider people, you know, in our community, in this Ordinal community family. You know, we've been here for a long time, and it's a very dear and near to our hearts, this space. So
100%.
Where do you want to get into next?
I got the screen rolled up, so we can jump right into this one. The parent inscription for Pizza Pets, an upcoming collaboration between the Pizza Ninjas and Megapunks, was just inscribed. So this was inscribed by the Megapunks. Megapunks is, I guess, an Ordinal project. I'm not too up to that. With
you don't remember them?
Not
they
really.
Were early.
Were they?
Yeah, I think they were. Go ahead.
No, that's actually really good information because I did not know that. Are they like what, like below 100K?
I'm pulling it up right now. So they are they're earlier than frogs, but they're in that range. So 219,000 to 328,000 inscription number.
What was the collection? Are they PFP?
Yeah, they're PFP, but I could tell like they have that like weird kind of like 8-bit style, kind of like that, like around the words right there, kind of like that. Here you can see.
Gotcha.
This is Megapunks. Wow. You remember them?
Yeah, I remember them now. Yeah, I remember seeing them. They actually look pretty cool. I like this guy right there in the hoodie on the top. And the brown hoodie is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. It's a very kind of like Fallout from 1995 graphics.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're doing something with the Pizza Ninjas. Probably the Pizza Ninjas guys will probably get a whitelist if you own one of those. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad they're doing stuff for their holders. You know, with the recent price action that they've had, absolutely insane. So congratulations if you're a holder of Pizza Ninjas. You're probably doing something with these Pizza Pets, and curious what this looks like. But definitely want to bring it up because we really haven't really talked about the Pizza Ninjas at all. But I would love to get your opinion on Pizza Ninjas here. Obviously, you know, they were sitting at 0.04 for the longest time and then rose up to about 0.1. Not 100% what they are at right now, but they got to be close to what they were, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think last time I saw they were like at 0.14.
Yeah.
You know, Pizza Ninjas kind of falls into that category as wizards for me,
Yeah.
to where and you know, Quantum Cats kind of always were a little bit up high, but where are they at?
0.14.
Yeah, okay. So you know, I feel like when Wizards jumped up, it was like, okay, why did they jump up, right?
Yeah.
The team behind, the leadership behind it with Udi, Eric, whatever, like that whole team, right? They did a good job with Quantum Cats, and I felt like Quantum Cats really kind of picked Wizards up, and then there was just like the Wizards token as well, and all this stuff happening, right? With Pizza Ninjas, I feel like that kind of happened too, to where like the leadership with Trevor and his team, like what I felt like when they felt like the time was right, they kind of turned the engines on, right? And like I want to word this correctly. I'm just gonna say I feel like that both of those teams have outside investors, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me being, you know, giving my opinion. And so I feel like, you know, with the help of some of that was like, okay, let's turn the engines on here. Not saying that community didn't help, because community helped, right, with each. But I feel like something like the frogs, which wasn't like that. You know, the frogs was an organic, like it literally launched on, I think Bitcoin Lightning is how you paid, and
Yeah.
then, you know, you got you got your frog in your wallet, right, in your Unisat wallet or your Bitcoin wallet, and so that was more of an organic thing versus, you know, the funded stuff. That's why I think frogs will have that like longer play longevity, to where like it will come back strong, because it's like there was no like entity like with capital kind of pushing that. It wasn't a huge, it was a free mint versus also, you know, charged mint on these two. But anyways, with that being said, I do think like the ninjas are a good solid play for the bull run. Outside of that, I'm trying to stay away from anything that's like VC because of what happened with the apes or board apes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So with the Bored Apes were, I mean, they were very VC'd, right? Like it was I mean, they're expensive. I mean, no normal person could spend $150,000 on a JPEG, especially in the early days, and then it got all the way up to what 600, 700,000 for some of them, for some of the rare ones. So yeah, that's definitely should have cautious with a lot of this stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Trevor seems like, you know, a pretty stand up guy. I know there's a lot of hate on him, but he seems like one of the good ones. You know, I hope so anyway, and I think that I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I
yeah.
think people also have to realize that like there's definitely businesses here, guys. Like there's business models here, you know. And so, I'm not saying that like the Pizza Ninjas aren't a good play. I think that they're a good bull run play, and I think that the Wizards are a good bull run play, and Node Monks and all these. Right now, what Casey did with the artifacts was add like another layer of value with like the lower inscriptions and tracking all that stuff. Right, so that's going to be a unique dynamic that comes into play in the post bull run, the bear market, when the bear market kind of starts. See how much of that value can some of these lower inscriptions hold, and then also the ones that were kind of, you know, pumped by, you know, investors and stuff too.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Hey, but the investors are collectors too, right? I mean,
And
they
they're
collect
part of
the
the
same reason
market.
we do.
We got to
Yeah,
accept that, right? Like
yeah,
you just like, look, a lot of this is how you handle your approach to this, and if you're going to be successful or not with that approach. And I think like it's fair game that the fact that like these VCs and stuff are here, it's a part of the ecosystem since before, right? It's just
yeah.
like, are you going to deal with those kind of things, and are you good enough and experienced enough to handle like the ups and downs of that?
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep. I agree. So, question for you: do you think the frogs were held by VCs and then the VCs dumped?
no, so I like it, for me, it's like I think there was a moment to where
Yeah,
there was like not necessarily like traditional VCs, but like you know, like fund managers, right?
yeah,
You know, that decided, okay, they came in. I think definitely the time that the frogs jumped up to point for whatever, that there was like outside funds that wasn't like helping like the frogs necessarily, they helped the price, obviously, but it was helping their own pockets at that point, and it was kind of just like opportunity, right? Since the frogs were popular at that point. So that's just how this market is too. Like, so definitely frogs benefited from outside investment group as well.
Yeah.
I would say at one point. It didn't start that way at all though.
Frogs are cheap, bro. Every time I look at them, man, I get this weird feeling I should buy.
But it's like that. This is a perfect example of the sick feeling though, right? Because like you have this like sick feeling in your gut, like, oh my god, they keep dropping. They're but then like, are you right on that? Like, do you take the plunge and then get some of these, and then like you're like, oh, hope the knife isn't going to keep falling on me. But then, like you say, when you have that intuition in your gut, typically you hit pretty well on those.
My gut's telling me to buy this naked one right here. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But my body,
my fingers say, hit the button. George pushed the button. But yeah, man.
All right. Well, let's jump into a couple of these other topics. We got about 10 minutes left. 341 people in here. Got 10 minutes left until the Ordinal After Hour, where we will answer questions for you guys. So keep putting those questions in. But let's hit on this. Unitap, which is this new platform sort of ordering book for the Tap ecosystem, has announced that they're going to be releasing a wallet. Right. And they want to be the first Tap wallet available. So, they have kind of like this ordering book style approach right now, to where you can put in, like, if you want to get certain type of Tap tokens, you can buy them with other Tap tokens and stuff like that. But there is another wallet that's kind of there's two wallet companies right now that are racing to be the first wallet. One's a Unisat fork. So they kind of had the lead on that, unless Unitap has been building behind the scenes this whole time, which could very well be the case. Unitap definitely seems like it has a little bit more quality when I'm looking at it, but like, I haven't dug into either in terms of actually using the product. So it should be pretty interesting. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it forever. Tap needs infrastructure, and every single day there's getting more and more infrastructure. This is huge. This is much needed, and I can't wait to use it. I got a lot of I've been buying a lot of minus Tap lately. I'm just bullish on it, and it was like dirt cheap on StatsX.io. But I can't wait to send that over there and get that on in my Tap wallet, so I can kind of see it every day and stuff like that. And when Ghosty eventually becomes that Tap token that they're saying that will become, be cool to have that in the wallet. And even WrapTrack, when WrapTrack becomes a Tap token, which I can't wait for that bridge to open. So I mean, I'm excited for the infrastructure being built here. I'm excited for all the dApps that they're building. And I remember a while ago, and I came at them for saying this, but Tap said they're building like a store, right? And I was like, why do you have a store? You don't have a damn wallet.
That was like 2.5 weeks ago.
The space moves fast, man. The space moves really fast, but to that point, but seriously though, like, why have a store when you don't have a wallet, right? And now they have a wallet, and now I understand. They were just saying that without saying, yo, there's wallets coming, there's wallets coming. That's what they should have said. And but it's huge. And Unitap, I mean, their website's amazing. They have their own little peer-to-peer, like, kind of like marketplace. Not really, but somehow a little bit, you guys can call it that. But yeah, Tap's going to be utilized, guys. Definitely going to be utilized for sure. But excited for this. I'm excited that infrastructure is here for Tap.
Yeah, that's good. And guys, we're going off of information that we're receiving from the ecosystem, the builders, stuff like that. So just know that, like, we still want to play around with a lot of this stuff. So do your own research. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say that, but make educated guesses upon your research that you do personally. But we try to bring the news and what we hear early to you guys. So gonna run through a couple of these real quick. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to our guy Jake Gallen, as he will be serving as the new CEO of Emblem Vault. So shout out, sir. He is one of the best in the space. One of the most genuine, trustworthy people. Didn't get to spend a ton of time with him in NYC, but did get to say what's up with him the first night to him and Bunzy the first night we were there. But quality guy, and I think it's well deserved.
Yeah, Jake's one of the good ones, man. And he's so smart too. And sometimes I'll be heated over something or annoyed by something, and I'll go read his tweet, and he really has a really good understanding. Yeah, he was one of the first guys when Benny was against all the VC stuff. He was one of the first guys in saying, guys, why are we so far against it? And really opened the idea for me, like, yeah, we need VCs here. Back then we were such an infancy, though. It was barely any VCs here, and that really opened the door to a lot of the ones that came. And obviously Benny had to change of heart as well with his team. There because we have to understand there's bad VCs and there's good ones, right? So and if you're aligned with some of the good ones, and Jake was one of the ones that really opened my mind to that, and he continues to do it day in and day out. I get when a lot of times I'll see something and I'll Google his name, Jake.Sats, and he'll have something written about it, right? So which is really awesome. And his spaces, Emma Bolt, they do spaces all the time. I used to be a big fan of his YouTube when he was back doing that. Hopefully that comes back. But just want to say congratulations, Jake, man. Definitely seen this coming in your future, man, and big things. And we always want to support you in any way possible. Jake came on DeFi discussions when we were DeFi discussions back then. Or were we Ordinal Revolution yet?
No,
I can't remember.
We were DeFi discussions because
okay.
it was that like intense intro that you put together, like, with all the AI caricatures that Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and stuff like that. That was funny.
And back then, Jake gave us some good words, man. He was like, "Don't quit." And then, a few weeks later, we became Ordinal Revolution, and we haven't quit. And success we've had, is a big reason for people like him in this space. You know what I mean? So shout out Jake, definitely. And if you're not following Jake.Sats, be over here. But I just wanted to read this real quick from Emblem Vault. It says, "We're excited to announce the next chapter for Emblem Vault. Effective immediately, Emblem Vault will now be part of Cross-Chain Ventures LLC. The initial ownership group of Cross-Chain Ventures includes Eric Porper, Shannon Code, and Adam McBride and Jake Gallen. Adam McBride and Jake Gallen. Jake Gallen will be serving as the new CEO of Emblem Vault. Shannon Null Code will be serving as the new CTO of Emblem Vault. Additional information can be found in our press release as well as upcoming town hall at the end of the month. So definitely, guys, if you're interested in this, check that out. It's just Emblem Vault and Twitter at Emblem Vault if you want to read that. But again, congratulations to all these guys, man. Congratulations to Emblem Vault. Emblem Vault's been here since the beginning.
Yep, and they're in good hands. With Jake leading it. And this is the last thing I'll say about Jake is if you have an opportunity to have a think I might have lost connection. No, I think I'm okay. Oh, we lost Shizzy for a second. We lost Shizzy for a split second. Okay, we're good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, here you go. What just happened? Was that me?
I don't know, man. I feel like someone's infiltrated. Yeah. Okay, so let's hit on this real quick. We got 2 minutes before we get into the after hour. So you can now burn your old and dirty. You can see who created this banner. Your dirty BRC20 Z-bit and transform it into the first MMO rune. So this is something that like some of these BTC machines, and I think the pups and wizards are trying to do this bridge to be able to burn and then get the new rune. Is this starting to happen more now, or were they the first?
This is the first. It's the first ones who are saying, "Hey, burn your dirt," and I got that from their official site. So I was going to delete it out, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just leave it." But but you can burn your BRC20s for your new runes tokens, and I think that's the first of many projects that will be doing this. So shout out them, Zbit and those guys at BTC Machine seem to be always ahead of the game, So shout out those guys. Shout out boy Patty Poo. with the BTC machine, man. Always supporting those guys. But
Loyal.
yeah, I think yeah, real big time. So shout out those guys.
Yep. All right, congrats, and we'll see some more bridges coming through, I believe, here in the near future. And then the last thing we'll touch on before we get into Q&A is Fluid Tokens, which is, if you guys don't know who Fluid Tokens is, you should really get to know them. It's a team from Cardano that's very proficient in UTXO stuff. And so they are a borrower, lender platform over here on Bitcoin now. But supposedly they have a rune dex coming. Can you show that?
Yeah. 1 second. I don't know why I'm struggling to find this. Let me jump on the other one real quick. Sorry, guys. I was not ready. The delay there kind of messed me up, but we should be 1 second.
Yeah, so these guys...
If I remember, they're Fluid Tokens XBT. There is another Fluid Tokens. Is that the same company, though?
Yeah, I think the Bitcoin version?
Okay.
Yeah, the other one is the Cardano platform. So they have Cardano, and then they have BTC as well.
Yeah.
So the one that you put XBT, that's the right one.
Okay. So this is let me show this real quick. Represent my screen here. All right, so I'll just play this short video. It's really cool. So it's their DEX here. Obviously it's going to be centralized a little bit, but I mean that's everything here. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see their approach to like borrowing and lending is very well. I feel like it's unique. It's no one's using it. They made it permissionless, right? So we'll see what this swap approach they take with it, because it's definitely something that people have been screaming about needing and wanting in the space. So
yeah, so go follow these guys. We're definitely in talk. We will definitely want to highlight these guys more, man. Really the two big ones are Liquidium and Fluid Tokens, and not many people know about Fluid Tokens. They were a Cardano project who came over here, man, and it's really cool to see, because they are, Yagobi says it all the time. They're the same type of coding here, the UTXO based on Cardano, which I didn't know until recently, and then that's the same thing with Bitcoin. So it's easily to come over here, which is awesome. And Fluid is one of the first ones to come over, and these guys will be big. But shout out our boy here, Kai Effect, man. Kai Effect. Keep it up, guys. We appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Appreciate that, Kai. All right. We got 366 people, and this is the time that we jump into the Q&A. So we are excited about this. The first question that I am going to bring up is from Sixes, a member of our YouTube channel here. It says, thoughts on BTC mutant apes on Ordzar, mint or pass?
Interesting.
So I'm looking at this right now. I think this is the one that he's talking about. Yeah, because there's only 3 listed, 42 owners. So it must be minting out now. Honestly, and this is just me, I would probably pass on it, because it is, a direct, I don't know if that's Yuga Labs as well. So like you have to be careful, because with the other apes that was on Bitcoin early, I forgot what their name was. Bit apes, right? They ended up having to get pulled down, but I don't know. Like there's that part of the copyright and the stuff like that, as well as it just being kind of like now if Yuga did this, that's a different story, to where I think like you got to do the research, and if Yuga is part of it, then that could do well, because you could see DGods did well on Bitcoin Ordinals for a bit and then pulled back. So that one I would personally pass on it, but what about you, Shizzy?
Yeah, it would have to be a burn. There's no way there's going to be like, hey, mint this for free. Like that's not going to be a thing, because people already have the mutant apes. Why not allow them to burn them and to become Bitcoin apes, right? So that's the only way I see that happening. And I think there's still like 4 to 6 ETH for one, right? So that's still like $15,000-$20,000. So I don't know. Not a huge fan of the Yuga Labs guys anyway. So I probably wouldn't be purchasing it, even if it was them. So,
yep. All right, good question there, Sixes. TKO401 asks, can you guys go over your tap play? I have Track, Sora, Karma, and Ghosty. Thanks to you guys, but there are so many more, and I know I'm missing a lot. So I think Track, Ghosty, and probably Sora are like pretty safe in my opinion. Just because I think like Sora, everybody should know that Sora's got some influence from like Sora, right? And so they keep talking about $5 is when the party starts, but I don't listen to that type of stuff. But like it is at like I think 20 cents was the last time I saw, and I do think that they're going to try to make it look respectable. And so that's a play that you gotta decide if you can trust that entity, right? But I do think that like I personally think that Trex remains a BRC20. I think it does because of the way that they're going to use it as staking for validators and governance, right? To earn the tap token. So I think that one is solid. Plus, you have a strong community with it. Sora could be, but like I said, you have to trust those guys. Karma kind of in that same boat because it's by the same people, really. And then Ghosty is obviously one that you guys know that we are bullish on. But outside of that, you have Minus Tap, which was the very first token. I have some of that. I think it is a little risky. DMT Nat, I'm not bullish on. I feel like the supply is just too big on that, and it's going to be really hard for that to bounce back. But there's some other ones in there. Troll could do well. Gib is a kind of a risky play, but it did well earlier. Traverse is another one that I think because they do have that infrastructure approach, partnering up with Ghosty, that could be a solid one. Again, do your research on all these. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, I'm actually more bullish on Minus Tap than you. I think the same wallet that deployed the Tap token that everyone is sought after is the same exact wallet that did Minus Tap, right? And that wallet was owned by Benny the Dev. Benny created Minus Tap, and there in one of the Medium articles, somebody actually screenshotted it and sent it to me. It said Minus Tap will not be a part of the Tap airdrop, but we have other plans for it. And that was directly from Benny the Dev. So this is the one that I am most bullish on. So when I say most bullish on, I mean has the most upside. And I'm a holder of this, just so everyone knows. I own about, I don't know, $3,000, $2,000 of this. Nothing crazy. I got it dirt cheap though. I got it for like less than $700. So I was buying.
It's so funny because like when you jumped on that, like I want to say last week. What's the price right now?
It's about 347 towers for 1,000. So it's about
if you go back out, I think it has the floor price in USD to see kind of what it does. It
34 cents.
Yeah, 34 cents. Okay, so 34 cents. I think like whenever we started hearing about Tap stuff, like you and I were like, oh, should we get some more Minus Tap too, right? And at that, I swear the price was lower than 10 cents at that point. Am I wrong?
It was cheap. Yeah, I mean, I got 8,000 for like $700.
Yeah. So this was like
7,000. Yeah.
I want to say this was like almost like a little bit less than 2 weeks ago. That's how fast this space moved.
Yeah. It was the day Coinlist came out with their thing. Because that was the day I got bullish on Tap. So, and that's when I started buying Minus Tap. But I think Minus Tap, like I said, it got Benny's hands are all over this. And I think, and you got to remember too, Minus Tap was the first Tap token. This was the test token. There will never be cursed tokens anymore. This is the cursed token. Right? It's the cursed version of Tap. I love it. I love the stuff that can come from it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Not financial advice whatsoever. This is very high risky, but I definitely think it has the highest upside. Followed by, in my opinion, Tap would be my number one. Not including
DMT Nat could do like a Doge thing.
The problem, there's new ones every day.
Well, Doge was like that too before.
Yeah.
But there would have to be a huge rush in there, and it would have to be like very, very huge rush into it to kind of flip the supply and demand approach to it, But like technically it could, but I don't see that happening though.
Yeah. And the very bullish on Traverse. They got a team, like you guys know me. I'm not a meme guy, right? I'm more of a team behind them, and I like this team. I like the guys we've been speaking to. I like them so much. I want to become a partner with them in some ways. I think we as Ordinal Revolution can really start spotlighting these guys. And I opened up a vault yesterday, and so you basically open it up. You get your seed words, right, and that's normal. But in order to get into that vault, you need a QR code and my Google authentication, and then an email. So I need to email that, and so I can put my words in the chat right now, and you guys cannot get into that vault. Even if you took it to a Uniset and put those words in, you would still need to go into their site and add the the
3 steps.
The 3 steps. Yeah. So I don't
Well,
know.
also
I think that
they
big.
can't get in there.
They don't have my QR code. I mean, they don't have
Yeah.
my Google authentication code, so they can't even
Yeah.
get into it themselves.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
So I don't know. I'm very bullish on these guys, and that's why you're gonna see. I mean, we might as well say it. We're gonna starting tomorrow. We're gonna make an announcement. We're gonna be Web3 partners with those guys. So not a sponsorship. We're gonna be advising them and trying to help them become the best that they can be.
And look out for the membership video stream. I think we're going to do it tomorrow, because the OG pass holders for sure will get some of that. We'll talk about it in that stream.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, if you're an OG pass holder,
can you bring that up real quick again? Because I want to see if there was any other ones. If you scroll down a little bit more the other way, scroll back up.
Okay. So it's just DMT Jackpot, which I never heard of. DMT Infinity and Cheese. I want cheese.
Cheese.
I don't know. I have a weird feeling that I should buy cheese right now, bro.
That's the weirdest thing about Shizzy. He says he hates me, but then he wants to buy cheese. I don't get it. But
it's cheese, bro.
Yeah. But here's another thing that I think people gotta start to realize. There's different parts of the tap ecosystem too. The UNATs and the DMT part with block runners, which they rely heavily on tracks indexing for that. That's a big deal. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of utility, if you will, right? So that's why, like, I've always kept my, once I got to like a certain amount of track, I said I'm not going to sell down until like this bull market really takes off, because I do still think that track is going to reach some of these numbers that like we initially thought.
I agree.
Anyways, all right, let's see here. John J says, Yagobi on fire today, calling it real. Appreciate that. And then John says, Shizzy unblocked me. I knew he loved me. Kissy face, kissy face.
I do love you, John. I love you, buddy. I really do. Me and John, we have a love-hate relationship, right? There's some days where we love each other and some days where we hate each other. But I unblocked everyone. I went through my unblocks. I said, I'm somebody who likes free speech. I think everyone should have free speech, and I shouldn't be blocking people. So I even blocked those scumbags hoodies, but that's it.
Gotcha. All right, let's see here. Vaxzone's asking, what competitors does Ghosty Cash have? Who would you say their competitors are? Centralized exchanges, right? For the service that they provide right now, it's a centralized exchange or a bridge from like a Bitcoin sidechain, or that's pretty much it. Those are the two competitors, and it's really more the centralized exchanges that are competing with them, because you got to send your Ethereum to Coinbase, convert that to Bitcoin, and then send it to your Bitcoin wallet, while you can just do that with Ghosty Cash. So they're really competing in terms of like, it's almost kind of like an exchange, a money exchange, right? Like whenever you're trying to exchange different currencies, you go there, they collect a fee, and then they exchange from like yen to dollars for you, or vice versa. And so I feel like that's what their competition is now. Who knows as technology gets better, because they might compete with exchanges.
Well, that's, and just like you said earlier, if Opcat gets pushed in, Ghosty becomes that bridge, you know what I mean? So, and I think it's easy to implement, so for someone like those guys with the builders that they have.
I love this. Yeah, sure, guys. If I
smiled.
Windows 7 32 bits 2 times, does it become Windows 64 bits? That's funny.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes. That's a question for ChatGPT.
Ant-Man says Ghosty will be passive income.
Ooh, we're gonna be able to stake that. That's huge.
TKO41 another question here says, any thoughts on BRC 22.0? If I'm not mistaken, it's adding smart contract like functionality. How is it different from OpCat? Any good play alpha here? So I can start with kind of my thoughts with it. I think that they're going to deliver something that may shock a large part of the space. Now, you know, OpCat obviously deals with like high level computations and stuff on Bitcoin's core layer, while what they're doing with BRC 22.0 is adding programmability to the meta protocol level. So it's like they're making the environment of the BRC 20 meta protocol like a better user experience, but then like you still get stuck once you send the transaction over to, you know, Bitcoin, right? So I don't know. We'll see how this, you know, how much, you know, computational functionality they can add into like the meta protocol, like by adding programmability to it. I don't know. This is like new innovation, you know, innovative stuff. So we got to kind of see, because the one thing I don't like, and it's crypto wide too, is just like the possibilities get spoken a lot of times like they're like present, and it's just not what the case, right? Like we need to see and use and feel and touch, use our senses and stuff, and say, okay, I've experienced it, you know. So I'm cautiously optimistic is what I'll say.
I'm gonna say the thing I always say: if you have to bridge, you are a sidechain. So this will need a bridge, of course, because you can't do smart contracts on Bitcoin. And if you have to bridge, I'd rather use EVM. That's just me. So it's not something I'm excited for at all. You can say whatever you want, but you would 1.5, whatever. If you have to bridge, you are a sidechain.
Yeah. So the last part of his question was any good play alpha here. I would say, you know, track, because I do think that like the original form of BRC 20 will stay that way for track. I think Benny, and I could be wrong completely on this, but I have a feeling that he's more open-minded to like a multi-meta protocol ecosystem and working with others in terms of, you know, on Bitcoin, making Bitcoin, you know, great again, if you will. And so, like I've said this before, like right now it doesn't feel like the most, you know, happy of times just because like the market's down. But like, guys, we've gone through, if you've been here the past 12 months and currently, like the biggest Bitcoin renaissance period ever. Like, you know, meta protocol after meta protocol, people trying different things, you know, going back to the drawing board, you know, Ordinals was created, which has a tracking system, you know, with Satoshis and all this. Like, so we're so lucky to be a part of this, because it's like the beginning parts of the internet, and you were there saying about like, oh, this is how it should be done. This is how the internet will work, and from a larger scale, this is how you scale the internet. You know, so I think sometimes we take this for granted that we're actually, you know, what a time to be alive situation.
Yeah. What a time to be alive, man. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, John J says real quick, he says, love the Shizzy saying F the government. Let's go privacy sector. Seriously, man. I'm tired of these people that are in charge right now. I'm tired of these grannies and grandpas telling us what to do, man. They can go F off.
Yeah, for sure. And Yasher talked about John McAfee here. He used to be asking all of us staff finance. I watched a video like yesterday of that, whenever he got his boat stranded in Cuba and made that video. And it was so like eerie, because it's exactly what's starting to happen now. But good point on that, Yasher. All right, TKO says, how does Ghosty Cash get their liquidity out on tokens but never actually use them? Does swap go through smoothly? So the way that they do their swaps is it's definitely like custodial, right? So you have to put your trust in them. You're basically telling them, you know, you want to receive these tokens to this address, and you're going to send the other token to this address for they'll give you the exchange rate, right? So it isn't like living liquidity like you think, but actually I wouldn't be shocked, because, you know, they do have backing to get it down to 15 minutes. In my opinion, there's got to be some way that they're accessing capital or something. I don't know though. I'm just guessing off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very centralized. To your point there, you know, everything's done in a very centralized way. So, but they're enabling a staking function. Not sure what you're gonna be earning from staking the Ghosty, but you will be able to stake it soon, and that is another reason why I am accumulating.
Yep. All right, Mighty Sonu says, Shizzy sir, I have to tell you something. You have already staked your BitSmiley BitDisc, right?
Yes.
So you will only need to connect those wallets to Particle Network Launchpad. You can look into this. Oh, okay. So I guess
didn't
go
know
ahead
that.
and yeah, dude, that's crazy. So I got some points then. Dude, you got to do that because like
I know.
what if that's the way that you have to claim them? You
I
got
have
a lot of
100 million
fucking
points. Yeah, because I have
Seaver
3
says
wallets that I'm staking.
Seaver says VCs will come and make huge money from every project. The question is, will they put holders' pockets in their pocket first? Yeah, I mean,
True.
obviously they're gonna try to fill their pockets first. That's how their business runs. Oceans, good point. Faded frogs at 500, not fading other projects that make my stomach churn.
Yeah, man. We're all learning together here, Oceans.
Yep. All right, where's some more questions here? Crypto Noob asks, got all my bitmaps in one Ordinals wallet. Should I disperse to a better wallet platform? My intent is to just hodl or engage with drops whenever they arrive. Okay. So I think with the bitmap airdrops, they're going to give you like multiple, like depending upon from what I've seen, like how many bitmaps you have in that wallet. I think they're okay for most wallets. Like, you know, Unisat, everybody indexes bitmaps at this point, like pretty well. I've never heard of anybody losing a bitmap in any wallets. If you did have like I have a couple 4-digit bitmaps and I keep those separate just because, you know, their perceived value is higher. You might want to take that approach, and then just your floor bitmaps kind of, you can leave them all in the same, but that's up to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't recommend having anything all in one wallet. Let's just say that wallet got hacked, all your bitmaps are gone. If I was you, and I'm not, but if I was you, I would open up a Unisat and then Xverse, and I would send a portion to that Unisat and a portion to that Xverse. And you know, so if one wallet does get compromised, you're not completely out of your bitmaps.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Sia UNC asks or says, I actually feel like Bitcoin goes towards 70K here in the next few days and triggers the runes bottom. What do you guys think? Actually, that's possible. It's possible that, you know, Bitcoin can you know, build some momentum up, get to 70. I think that's like one of the best case scenarios is for it to probably get around 70 and then kind of reignite, you know, or ignite the runes run because people would have made profit from 63,000 to 70,000 that are in the space and could drop and kind of get things going there. Even if it doesn't go past 70,000, I think that would be healthy if it could get to 70,000, hang around 70,000 for the next 2-3 weeks, and then, you know, have a little mini runes run. You know what I mean? That could look healthy.
I would love that scenario. We get above 70, and then range between 70 and 74 before a break towards 80. That would be absolutely amazing.
Tim says you guys should each get a Nat Cat. Have you got one yet? I had one. I did flip it, but I wouldn't mind getting another one. I mean, they have the community for it.
They definitely do, and it's growing, especially with this tap ecosystem. It's not a bad buy. I probably won't, but
yeah,
that's just me.
I'll walk alone. Anything new coming for the OG Pass holders? Yes. It has to do with the Traverse partnership. I think we announced that. But yeah, we finalized that deal today. So look out for that. The other situation with the OG Pass is still kind of in limbo. That team is, it's funny, we talked about them today, but that team is pushing the brakes a little bit on their rune token, and so we'll try to get more information once they decide what they want to do with it. Also, VDEX, well, not VDEX, sorry, the Rune Pro pass. They are waiting for to announce their to launch their platform officially, and then they're going to do the mint for the pass. So yes, the OG holders still get a free mint for that.
And guys, we have meetings today with a bunch of different teams, and in every single meeting, whether it's close to the end or the beginning, we bring up, hey guys, we have 270 holders of our pass, and we would love for those guys to be able to do something. And a lot of them, they want to get in our good graces, so they're going to do stuff with the pass holders. And I say that just because, like, if we are fond of projects or people, a lot of times we will talk good about that. I'm just kidding, but definitely I'm using that to kind of get the pass holders some good stuff here, and I think that you guys will be getting some stuff very soon.
Yeah. Vaxzone says, what projects are really being built in TAP? Which ones can you single out? Opinion about OrdFi, DRK. Excuse me. So this is a good question, actually.
It is,
because there's a lot of early TAP tokens that launched, and I still have a lot of them. We were a part of the inscribing phase, like the literally like day one of the TAP protocol. So you had stuff like OrdFi, Bitmap token, DRK came a bit later, but that's Dark City.
Late, yeah.
But the ones that I can say for sure are the infrastructure plays that we kind of talked about. They are expanding what they've already built, right? So that's the biggest news that we've been getting. The expansion on products, meaning more products available to the public, more services and stuff like that. In terms of these old like TAP tokens, it's going to be very interesting to see how the market reacts to these if there's a very enjoyable trading environment. Because some of them could do well, but a lot of them will probably be forgotten about, right? Because it's kind of like we haven't been messing with these for a very long time. So I think you should definitely keep paying attention to see what the volumes look like. And if one might take off, like Troll, for example, that's like a pretty good meme token in the TAP ecosystem. But in terms of like confidence, I would just say the ones that we talked about infrastructure wise, right? Ghosty, Traverse, Sora, just because they have the bullets to be able to make that thing go. Karma, same kind of group behind that. So Francisco Jose, a member of ours, appreciate your membership. Many collections have bled out a lot. Frogs, Goosenals, ALU, OCM. Yeah. Do you think they will recover? When will they gain steam, or will they be stagnant with only the top 5 rising together with new stuff? So I do think that they end up taking off again. You have to understand there's certain projects that have the ability to keep their floor afloat, and there's reasons why they want to do that, right? So for example, Quantum Cats, I will say Node Monks, even though there isn't technically, they're anonymous. They say it's the community driven, but I have a strong feeling that there's strong pieces behind that. But then you have the Frogs, Goosenals, these other projects that they don't have that same capability in terms of being able to kind of hold up that weight right now. But what will happen is there will be outside money coming in and seeing like, okay, which projects had runs, which projects have history and culture here, and what projects are good deals. And that's where I see like Frogs and Goosenals are 2 specific ones I see like that. You know what I mean? To where they can say, oh, from outside looking in, we can actually get this to run, because there's community that will kind of band behind it. But I don't know. Do you think I'm off on that?
No, I think you're 100% right. I think all these could run. I think Frogs, Goosenals, ALU, OCM, and Ink. Maybe not Ink, but I definitely wants. I like the Pandas. big fan of the ALU, but OCM, On-Chain Monkeys, man. I mean, those guys are just, you know, everywhere. You can't go to an event without seeing an On-Chain Monkey hat. Frogs, frogs. I just bought a frog the other day, and Goosenals. I mean, so Goosenals is OSD used to really be a big part of that, and they had a civil war with one of the members, and he ended up leaving, and he's became very toxic. So it's probably good that he did leave. But anyway, so the Goosenals are just, you know, ever since that civil war happened, they haven't had that power that they once had. Do I think they get it back? Potentially, maybe. But I definitely see, you know, all 5 of these potentially could. And you got to remember too, it's going to get really expensive once things get going on to mint things in the future. So especially if Bitcoin's price goes up the way high we think it's going, and you know, the activity that we think is going to happen on this chain. So I think they do. Time frame, no idea.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, when is it going to happen? We don't know. You know, and they're not going to all happen at the same time either. So Oceans asked, what happened with mac and cheese? So obviously, if you were an OG pass holder, you got a free mint of mac and cheese. So I think you could have flipped that. At the top the floor was, I think, like 300 or 400, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. But you know, we talked about kind of the rollouts with their phases, and we truly believe that the next rollout with the Music Ordinal happened way too quick after the mac and cheese. So the Music Ordinal, the French Montana Music Ordinal, actually there was an announcement of being able to get a credit for the original mint price of 0.00069. So if you sent that Music Ordinal to a wallet, you could get that credit back. I think it's the next 14 days. I think we posted about it on our brand account. Did we?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Check that out. Go to the Ordinal Revolution Twitter account for instructions on that. The mac and cheese, you know, we did inquire about that, and we believe that they will have something, but it's not promised or guaranteed. Again, it was a free mint, so you kind of you know, have to take that at face value of it was a free mint. Obviously, people bought in secondary, and that sucks if you did, and because it tanked. But we'll see what happens. I will say this, that, you know, that the Web3 team over there is very generous in terms of this. Like, they didn't have to do the Music Ordinal refund thing, you know what I mean, or credit, but they did, because they felt like they didn't provide like a great minting experience for the Ordinals community. So we'll see what happens. We have asked that question before. We got an answer of no promises, but you know, hopefully they can integrate it into something. But yeah, we'll keep trying to get an update on that for you guys.
100%. 469 people in here.
Let's go.
You guys are amazing. I wasn't expecting this for a Tuesday. Appreciate every single person watching, listening. If you guys just do one little favor, and please hit that like button on Twitter and YouTube. It really helps us. You have no idea how much it helps us. Actually, honestly, we have no idea how much it helps us, but we hear that it does.
Yeah. John Doe says Ghosty will be one of the track validators. Okay, well, I'm going to research that and see if that's the case, because if it is, then that's even more bullishness there. Vaxon says, can the real Traverse token only be bought on Ordinal's wallet? That's the only place that I've seen, like the StatX is there? Okay.
Yeah, StatX.
Yeah.
StatX, yeah.
eSpirit says minerals down bad. Is it going to recover? They're actually speaking at like the Hong Kong or the Bitcoin Asia event right now. Look, they're still here. They haven't gone away. I claimed my Bitcoin that I earned every time. I'll do it like every 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm like, I've looked at it, kind of wrote it off, but obviously I'm going to pay attention to it because I hold a good amount of these. I don't know. I think they might, if they surprise me, then that's great. That's a great surprise. If not, then like I said, I've kind of written this off. It sucks because that was one of the ones that I really, felt like had a good opportunity. And again, they haven't gone anywhere. There was a breach in one of their wallets, but they took care of that supposedly. And, you're still earning Bitcoin and the mineral token. the miner token. So we'll just kind of have to see. One thing I think we have to realize with Merlin chain is that like this unstaking stuff, I feel like it's like 3% left of it. Most of that's out of the way, thank God. We're gonna have Jeff on tomorrow, but like I said, I think that there needs to be 1 to 3 dApps that really build up the users, right? And we've talked about Surf.1 being one of those. Once that volume increases and the alt season starts, I think that like a project like Mineral can really pick back up and start thriving, but we'll have to wait and see.
100%. Yep. Time will tell.
Yep. All right. LSR says, what are your thoughts on Bitmap at current prices? Shizzy was asking me if he should buy some earlier today.
I did. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I don't know. The price, I don't think it gets much cheaper than this. And Batoshi just had a huge article today. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. I will, and we'll talk about it on tomorrow's show. But let's get into that tomorrow. I'll make that one of the topics. I mean, no, tomorrow's the thing. Thursday, because we have Jeff
Thursday
on as live AMA. So Thursday show, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, and they're $80 right now. And remember when these were like $20 to $30 for the longest time, and like it was like $100 was like that big barrier to break.
Yep.
And now we're down to 80, and obviously this is like detrimental because it got all the way to, what was the highest?
360, 380.
Yeah. So
I don't think it hit 400, but it was close.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is that recently the Bitmap community has come together, and they've come together, and they're trying to work together and revitalize and make it the best it can be. So that's good. That's a good sign. But
100%.
Man, 484 people in here.
Wow.
Give
Thank you guys so much.
Hand.
And guys, tomorrow we got Jeff Merlin. Definitely everyone come back, because tomorrow we're going to need some of the best questions. We're actually going to give a prize out for the best question. So tomorrow, if you have the best question, I'm going to make Jeff choose the best question. If you have the best question tomorrow, there will be a prize. We haven't figured out what it's going to be yet, but it'll be okay. So definitely do that. Maybe we'll give away a bitmap or something. A couple bitmaps.
Yeah, and the thing is that like so we're gonna field probably like 3 to 4 or 5 questions after we're gonna go through some questions with him during the live stream from us. So put your questions also that you want to ask us to ask Jeff on our post on our brand account. We posted that we're having a live stream. Go put your questions under that post. And we will select about 5 to 7 of those, and really kind of get him to try to answer and dissect some of the things that you guys have questions about. And we will get to that, and then we'll do some live questions at the end. But make sure it's respectful. Obviously, we get frustration here and there, but just be respectful. That's the biggest thing that we try to preach. About our community, and we want to be examples of that in the space.
100%. I agree.
I think that wraps it up, man.
That's the show. Yep. All right, guys. Real quick though, please, if you wouldn't mind, go and check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles here, guys. And if you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, we do have 21% off. Click right here. You can click right there. And if you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, make sure you have some of the best Ordinals gear on. If it's not from us, make sure from someone else, to show the maxis that we're here. And we are very proud of our Ordinals, right? So that is right here. If you click the store button, that'll take you to the store. But besides that, we're going to be doing a member live probably tomorrow night. I think we agreed on, right? Yeah. Wednesday night. So we're doing a members only live. If you're a member, tune in for that. It's looking like it's going to be around 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll have it linked up. So you just go to our YouTube channel, hit the live, and you'll see the members live. And so that'll just be for the members. We'll get really intimate about what we're doing personally in our personal portfolios, and you guys can ask us some personal questions, and we can do the same. We can get really cool in there, because it's not as crazy as it normally is. And those videos can't get cut and pushed out, right? So that's the reason why we do the members only video. So definitely check that out. If you're not a member, it's $9.99 a month. Definitely hit that. If you're interested, if you're not, don't worry about it. We'll be here Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 Eastern time. So sometimes we go further, just like today, depending on the questions that you guys have. But we do have a meeting at 1 o'clock, and we got to get to that. But we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.